Rev up your engines!
Rothaus 2 says, hey Scotty, how do I check transmission fluid in my car if it doesn't have a transmission fluid dipstick? Yeah, they're evil now. The engineers have decided, because the manufacturers told them to, make a car with an automatic transmission with no dipstick. And then they have to come to the dealer to get it worked on. Each individual transmission that doesn't have a dipstick, manufacturers make them all different. And they have various steps you have to go through. Some of them require a dealer level scan tool to hook it up, to measure it. If you're lucky, if the thing has a drain plug on it, what a lot of people do is they just take the drain plug, let it drain. Whatever comes out, they measure that same amount, then they pump it back into the transmission and quick put the drain plug back in. Now, some of them have very step processes where you got to do a bunch of things. But really, if it's got a drain plug, drain out what comes out, measure it, pump that same amount back in, leave it at that. Jimmy D says, my spark plugs in my car when I pull them out are all bright white. What's wrong? When you take them out and the electrodes are all bright white. White means it's running super lean. You got way too much air or way too little fuel. If you want to check for vacuum leaks, see if air's sucking in, I got a funny video, finding engine vacuum leaks with a cigar, you can watch that. Or your fuel system isn't pumping enough fuel. The injectors are clogged up, the fuel filter's clogged up, the pump isn't pumping enough. I mean, if they're that white, you should have a check engine light on. And that'll give more data when a mechanic looks at all the data and all the trouble codes and sees what's going on. White is super, super lean. If it's black, it's rich, it's getting too much fuel, not enough air, but you're white, and that's way too much air or not enough fuel. So you got to pinpoint that. Here's the weird thing. I've had people that are running white like that, and then they fix the problem, and then they get worse gas mileage, and they get mad at the mechanic. And I explain, look, a car that runs super lean a lot of times gets really good gas mileage too, but it's not good for the engine, because eventually running that lean, it'll get hot and it'll burn the pistons out. Uzi El Saldivar says, any tips on dealing with alternator whine? Yeah, turn your radio up. Now first, you want to see if is it the alternator that's whining. Lots of things can whine. If it is, take the fan belt off the alternator. The whine goes away, you know it's whining. If it is the alternator whining, it means it needs replacing because the bearings are wearing out inside. That's just how it goes. And rather than get stuck in the middle of nowhere, my advice is go buy another alternator pretty soon rather than wait for it to break down in the middle of nowhere. They whine because the bearings are wearing out and the bearings start to whine. But you know, the belts can whine. Lots of things can whine. So make sure that's what's whining before you waste your money on an alternator, because it could be something else. Reynolds RTG. Got a 2002 Ford F-150. I'm on my second exhaust manifold on the passenger side. My vehicle is 184,000 miles. Why do they keep breaking? Make sure you get quality exhaust manifolds. They're made out of cast iron. If they're not made right, they're going to crack. The other reason is, if all the exhaust hangers on that side of the exhaust aren't up and bolted on correctly, then there's too much strain on it and they will break and crack. That's why if you get a new car, jack it up and look under it, you'll see at various points on the exhaust system, there's rubber hangers, metal and rubber hangers. That's to let it have some flex. If you take all those hangers off, then the whole weight of the exhaust system, the muffler, the cat, and everything is hanging off the exhaust manifold. And as you hit bumps and strains too much, it'll crack and break off. I see that all the time. And also, motor mounts. If you got broken motor mounts, that makes the engine jump up and down when you start it and take off. And then, of course, eventually will crack the exhaust manifold because the whole exhaust system is being rammed up and down. I see that too. Scotty, I have a 2007 Nissan Frontier. I'm having trouble pumping gas. It keeps turning off as I pump it in. I checked the evap canister. It doesn't smell or anything. You can't really check those evap systems yourself. When I work on them, and I hate working on them, it's such a pain in the butt, I have to use my dealer level scan tool because it has to be able to do bidirectional testing where I can turn things on, shut them off. From my experience of those, canister valve often goes bad. When you're pumping it, it's supposed to be able to vent it while you're pumping it. So if you can get just the valve, try that first. Now, a lot of times you got to buy the whole canister and valve assembly, then you're going to have to do that. And you can go aftermarket. There's companies that do make aftermarket stuff like that, and I would try one of those. What the heck? Dorman is a real good one, D-O-R-M-A-N, and if they make one, buy an aftermarket one. The other problem is just get some air and blow by the hose that you see under there, under the cap. Sometimes the spiders can get in there, or little dirt and rocks can get in there and clog it up. But I know it's probably the evap canister vent valve. They go bad a lot of times. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.